So this is the last class, and we will be completing Asia. With regards to other regions, miscellaneous regions like Oceania and other conflict places, so I'll cover it in your document format, right? So those are not very important. One of the areas which we are missing as of now is Oceania region, right? But there have not been many development. दो या तीन ही developments हुए हैं, ठीक है? And but we will be completing the entire Asia today. And the second thing is that I will be compiling around all the PYQs from 1996 to 2025. Whatever has been asked with regards to maps will be compiled. But compilation से तो कुछ नहीं होगा, आपको लोगों को solve करना है. So this should be the process. So today the class will end, and we will edit the class. We'll compress the class. Like I think the class is like 9 or 10 hours. We'll compress it to like 4 or 5 hours. इसको आप 2x speed पे देख लीजिए, like 2 to 3 hours maximum. It won't take much time. Once you have seen that, then that 100 questions plus 50 questions will make 50 questions, 150 questions. You solve it, 2-3 questions, whatever comes in your prelims, that is assured. Okay. So after this, what we will do is next week we will take 1 day of minerals. Whatever questions, PYQs, questions, 1 day of minerals, like one question will be assured. So like that, we will continue with like HYTs, like high yielding topics. Okay. So let's start. So yesterday what we did, we will not revise. एक बार देख लीजिएगा video. Otherwise it will stretch. Yesterday we completed the East Asian part. We have seen this section. Today we will dive in the Southeast part, right? Before we dive in, एक बार जल्दी से the rivers will revise. I'll ask some questions also, right? So we have Bering Strait, we have Sea of Okhotsk, Sea of Japan, Yellow Sea, East China Sea. Till here you remember, right? Like BOJ and then Y, right? Then you have your East China Sea and South China Sea. There is no North China Sea or West China Sea because there is a landform over here. HAINAN, Hainan. Why is it? No, not US. This is China. Yes, it's very stronghold. It's a like it's armed to the teeth. Hainan, right? Okay. What are the 3 islands that we have discussed yesterday in South China? No, like in South China Sea, what were the 3 major islands? And Scarborough. Now tell me from north to south. Now, not forget. Okay. Now tell me, if this is Philippines, this is the South China Sea, and this is your Pacific Ocean, which is this particular strait which joins South China Sea with your Pacific Ocean? Luzon. Excellent. Luzon, there, like we'll study Luzon. There is a Luzon state over here. Philippines primarily has 3 islands, Luzon, and then this particular section is your Luzon Strait. You will not forget. Okay. Obviously, what is this particular? And here, Singapore, Strait of Singapore, right? Okay. Now, tell me. So yesterday we discussed that this is your Japanese island, major 4 islands, right? What is this particular group of islands called? Ryukyu or Ryukyu. And which is the largest island in Ryukyu Island? And which has US air base? Okinawa, right? Okinawa island has the largest air base, right? So we have understood that first island, second island, third island concept. Okay, we are not going there. Okay, okay. So let's start with ASEAN. What is a major development in ASEAN? Just a second. Major development in ASEAN, which has been in the news, and Mr. Trump has taken credit for it. And the very next day, what happened? There was a fighting, right? This is, okay. So this is your ASEAN, right? Okay. So ASEAN, understand one thing. How many states are there in ASEAN? No, 11 states. How is the decision making happens in ASEAN? Yes, excellent. It is through consensus. Now understand the logic of it. Why it is through consensus. If you see ASEAN state, You have 11 countries. They have a different political denomination. Some of them are constitutional monarchy, some of them are Islamic State, some of them are democracy, some of them are autocracy, etc., etc., right? Because they have different political faction, and some of them are army-led state. Example, Myanmar, right? Because they have such varied, political denomination, varied political currency, they need, with regards to decision making, everybody has to come to board. And hence, whatever decision takes place in ASEAN is based on consensus, right? And if you see, it is one of the successful blocks in the world. Because with such variety, now you have to understand, with such variety, they are able to take decision which makes them one of the finest and one of the largest economic blocks, right? So this is the success of ASEAN, which unfortunately another particular block very near to ASEAN, SARC could not replicate. Okay? Okay. Okay? So first we will go to the most important news that has kind of captured the news cycle. Okay? We'll understand this properly. UPSC might ask questions from anywhere, right? One is that Thailand and Cambodia fighting against, again after Trump has declared ceasefire. Trump has again declared ceasefire, you forget this, right? Thailand and Cambodia is fighting again. The reason is what? The temple. This Prasad Preah Vihear. You will find many Hindu terminologies you will find in your Southeast Asian countries. What is the reason why? Hindu rulers, excellent. 9th to 11th century, primarily they were Hindu rulers, right? And yes, we'll come to that. Angkor Wat will come. Imperial Cholas, right? So that is one reason. The second reason is that they were Shaivites, they were Vaishnavites, and they were extensive temple builders, architecturally very fine, and most importantly, they were god kings, right? Unlike in India there is no concept of god kings. God kings mean the secular and the political comes together, right? In those areas, right? Khmer region, these were god kings. We'll not go to the history of it now. So in case of Cambodia, the major river is Mekong River, right? So Mekong River drains in which part of the sea? South China Sea. Excellent. So you have not missed much, right? South China Sea. Now remember this. We have did we discuss about a PYQ where there were toneless sap? Did it feature in any PYQ, toneless sap? Patos Lagoon, toneless sap. Why? It is the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia. Does equator pass through this particular lake? Does equator pass through? No, it is Cambodia. उस दिन हम लोग क्या जाने थे? Which are the two countries through which? Indonesia and Maldives. Cambodia तो ऊपर है, ठीक है? Right? It does not pass through it. So we will remember toneless sap. And toneless sap, there are many features. Like it's not only one of the largest. The area is one of the largest, densest populated region, right? And there are very unique features also. I did not keep it because UPSC has already asked about toneless sap. They will not. If you are interested, you can do some Google search and understand. But UPSC has not asked about Cardamom Mountains, right? Very important. Just make sure that see the location of Cardamom Mountains. Okay? See the location of Cardamom Mountains, right? Cardamom Hills. So this is mountains, right? Okay. Now, let's see. This is your Thailand. This is your Bangkok, right? Like capital. And Cambodia's capital is how is it pronounced? Phnom Penh, right? Phnom Penh, right? Now, UPSC has asked this question with regards to from north to south, where are the capitals located of the ASEAN countries? Homework is this, you have to locate from north to south the capital of the, please do it. Homework is this, north to south, and also do like east to west, like where the capitals are there. So UPS has already asked a question. In the compilation, you will get this question, right? Now, so this is your Thailand. You check, just see the border over here, right? This is your Cambodia, this is your Thailand, and these are the temples which were located, which are located, and the bone of contention is this, right? Okay. When we will come to Thailand, we'll understand. Okay. Till here, clear? Now, let's understand. We have studied yesterday which particular isthmus over here? Isthmus of Kra. It is supposed to be what? It is supposed to be an alternative to the Malacca Strait. Alternative to Malacca Strait. But it is only in pen and paper, right? They will not ask about Kra Canal. Kra Canal, it's not feasible. वो नहीं होगा. Trust me. I'll tell you the reason why. The reason is they have to build 100 kilometers from here. So this is around 100 kilometers. Number one. Second is it will take around 35 to, estimatedly, that was estimated done in 2016-17, 35 to 40 billion dollars. Second reason. What is the third reason? Geological structure. Geologically also it is another reason I'll tell you. Not sea level, I'll tell you. Look, the moment a country divides itself into two halves, right, with a water body passing through it, and this particular water body will be dominated by whom? China, right? It will be dominated by China. And why? Because Malacca Strait is like, we have a strict observance of US. So this has to be dominated by China because probably it will, to a degree, finance this particular canal. And everybody knows the nature of China, right? That's the reason why it is in pen and paper ki now Thailand has said ki, yeah, we are contemplating Isthmus of Kra, but it will never fructify. Trust me, it will never fructify. Cost is high, the benefit is low, and then there is a strategic issue also, right? But we have to know about Isthmus of Kra. This one we have to know, okay? And it separates which one? Indian Ocean and so Gulf of Thailand. Here you have your South China Sea, okay? Okay. Now UPSC's question. Achha, another thing is that only Southeast Asian country that has never been colonized. It has never, that is Thailand. Thailand, right? It has never been colonized. And this is constitutional monarchy. You have to understand why I have given, like probably in other areas I would not have mentioned about what form of government it is, but I have mentioned why it is constitutional monarchy because there was a question on Vietnam and they have asked, right, they have asked about what kind of political system it has. It is not democracy, by the way. Vietnam is, what is Vietnam? One party, right, rule state, right? Okay, like China itself, right? And this particular India-Myanmar Thailand highway, UPSC has asked this question. From where does it start and where it ends? IMT, from where it starts and where it ends. This is the, we will understand today difference between IMT and Kaladan project. These are two different projects, right? And UPSC has asked both the projects. Okay, I'll tell you. So this, you're like, इसको clear कर लेते हैं, इसको clear कर लेते हैं, ठीक है? ठीक है? First we will understand. अरे ऐसे बस बताओ फिर तो हो ही गया, like, okay, IMT, right? Your India, Myanmar and Thailand, right? It starts from Manipur's More. Manipur's More. Remember this. It starts from Manipur's More, right? And it ends where? Mysot, exactly. So M or M? Will you remember? Will not forget? It starts from where? It starts from Manipur's More. Homework, why More is important. It was in news, of course, because of, recently it was in news because of Manipur. But historically, why More is important? There was a battle that was fought, right? This was the first place which the Indian army captured, which was led by Subhas Bose, right? Okay. You will remember IMT. You will remember IMT. It starts from where? More in Manipur, ends where? Mysot, right? Kaladan will come when we'll be discussing Myanmar. Okay? Obviously, like there is a tension about Preah Vihear temple. We'll discuss about Preah Vihear temple thoda. अच्छा एक बार देख लेते हैं. Now just see how UPSC has framed the question. So from India, Imphal, so from here it is starting, right? And it is completely your land. There is no sea component over here. This is your Mysot. Can you see Mysot? UPSC has framed the question Chiang Mai. UPSC has mentioned about Chiang Mai, right? But it will be Mysot. Okay? Clear till here? Okay. Now let's understand about the court dispute between Thailand and Cambodia. So first is about Preah Vihear temple, and it is where? It is in Dangrek Mountains. Just remember this, Dangrek Mountains. So obviously it is ancient Hindu temple, right? And so on the cliff along the border. Now sovereignty question of the temple has been settled. Where does the sovereignty lie? To whom? To Cambodia. It has been given to Cambodia in 1962. It has been awarded. The problem is with the temple complex, and you remember something. In those areas, huge temple complexes, which is the largest temple in the world. Angkor Wat. Angkor Wat is largest because of what? Huge temple. So these are all horizontal temples. But this is an exception over here. Like Angkor, so like Angkor temples, Angkor comes from which word? Angkor comes from the word Nagara, that is Nagar, right? Angkor comes from the word Nagara, that is Nagar, right? So Angkor temples, they are very flat, horizontal temples. But Preah Vihear temple, it is elevated. It is a bit elevated, right? And obviously, it was declared your World Heritage Site in 2008. This is the reason why. This was a genesis of huge fight, because when UNESCO declared World Heritage Site, they declared the complex, the entire complex. The temple was given to Cambodia. The complex was not given to Cambodia. That was the reason why this fighting happened, right? And it's still continuing, right? So remember this, it was built around 9 to 12 centuries, Khmer Empire. It was built around 11th century, but uska jo foundation hai 9th century se start ho chuka tha. You will not forget here, right? Okay. Now we'll come to Myanmar. Now this is our, obviously, neighbor, right? So we have understood IMT. IMT starts from where? More in Manipur, right? And it ends where? Mysot. In this case, it starts with Kolkata. So K for Kaladan, K for Kolkata. You will not forget. K for Kaladan and K for Kolkata. Then it is Sitwe Port. So basically, Sitwe Port, it's here. So from Kolkata, this is Hooghly River. My house is here, right? It's just beside, like 3 minutes from Hooghly River. Is it a tributary or distributary of river? It is a distributary of river Ganges, right? So this is River Hooghly. My house is just here. That's not important. So from here, so you have to Sitwe Port. So there is a sea component over here. Were there any sea component in IMT? There were no. There were none. Here there is a sea component, and then here is a river component. The river's name is Kaladan River. And from here, there is your land. And where it goes to Mizoram. Capital थोड़ा याद कर लीजिए, northeast के, right? Let's okay. We will not forget here. Clear? So let's understand. So Kaladan from K, Kolkata, it goes to Sitwe through ship Sitwe. Then there is a river, Kaladan River, and then there is a land component which takes to where? Aizawl, right? ठीक है? Will not forget. Okay. Now, this is where again UPSC might ask a question and will make mistake. The bordering states of your Myanmar, right? So which are the bordering states? Arunachal, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. इसको मतलब कर लीजिए, right? UPSC will frame कि त्रिपुरा डाल देंगे वहाँ पर. त्रिपुरा नहीं है, right? Tripura is not part, does not share boundary with your Myanmar, right? Coast obviously Bay of Bengal and your Andaman Sea, right? So you have your Andaman Sea over here, you have your Bay of Bengal. So you have discussed already, and it is also part of obviously IMT, right? Myanmar is part of IMT. Now coming to the rivers. There are 3 rivers. Remember, one is Irrawaddy, the most important. बीच में जाता है Sitang. फिर the easternmost is your Salween River, right? Just remember these 3 rivers, right? Just remember these 3 rivers. In that document, I will like share where its genesis, because otherwise the class will drag long. Where its genesis and where it where it drains. But here it is important to remember that Irrawaddy is obviously the the rice bowl of that particular country. Irrawaddy dolphin, right? Irrawaddy dolphin is found in which? Chilka Lake, and the largest single place with the largest population of Irrawaddy dolphin, single place with the largest population, it is your Chilka Lake, right? What is its IUCN status? Endangered, ठीक है, right? Will not forget. Okay, now so dolphins boom in, so there has been an increase in the number of dolphins, right? Along with that, एक बार just search this. It is a बहुत पुराना वाला article, but यहाँ पर 2 और dolphins के बारे में बताया गया है, bottlenose and humpback dolphins. Try to know these species as well, right? Try to know this species as well, right? Now, do you remember the dispute area we have discussed called Kachin State? Kachin State, like Mindanao in Philippines. Does Myanmar has a dispute area? Of course, it has a dispute area. Here you have your Kachin State, right? This section. ठीक है? And it borders China. Will not forget Kachin State, Myanmar. Kachin State is Myanmar. ठीक है? Will not forget there. ठीक है? Now we'll understand some of the hills and some of the barriers. What is this particular barrier called? It travels down to the Andaman. Yes, Arakan Yoma. This. ठीक है? Just a second, sorry. वो नहीं है. This is the region, right? It goes there. ठीक है? This is Arakan Yoma. You will not forget. And then there are 2 more hills, Chin Hills and Patkai Hills. Chin Hills is here. Patkai Hills ऊपर है, right? Remember Patkai boom? ठीक है? Will not forget. ठीक है? ठीक है? Shall we move on? Next. So there was another. Margui Archipelago, just remember, UPSC will not ask question. यहाँ से, ठीक है? Okay. Now coming to Laos. Laos is called the battery of Southeast Asia. Again, a term is there. They might ask a question. They might not ask a question on battery of Southeast Asia. They might ask a question. This particular country has huge, hydropower capacity. So that is your Laos. And it is the only country which is landlocked in your ASEAN region, right? Okay? Okay? And just you have to know one particular range, Annamite range. Now, Annamite range, it is important. Annamite range actually separates your Vietnam from Laos. Just remember, Annamite range separates Vietnam from Laos. Okay? Shall we move on? Okay. Have you heard this term, Golden Triangle? We will not use the term Golden Triangle anymore because PIB mein Death Triangle, Death Crescent and Death Triangle. And this is people are not considering official. If it has featured in PIB, that means it is official. And who coined this term? Our Honorable Home Minister, Amit Shah, right? So Death Triangle, okay? And hence it's cast in stone. So, okay. Now, what is important, which particular river features in this Death Triangle? Mekong. And what is another important, why it is called a Death Triangle? Can anybody tell me? Yes, that's a part of drugs death, but why triangle? They come together. This is the point. This is the point. Okay. This is the point where which are the countries? Myanmar, Thailand, and Laos, right? Or when I was trying to search for this particular region, then they have mentioned Mekong riverboat trip. Now, who on the right side of the mind would go into this Death Triangle for Mekong riverboat trip? But probably people go there. Okay. Okay. Shall we move on to the next one? Okay, now Vietnam. It is the easternmost of the mainland ASEAN countries. Easternmost, where it is here. And how do you remember? Obviously, Vietnam is another country which has issue with which region? South China Sea. Both Paracel as well as your this one, Spratly Islands. They lay claim Paracel as well as Spratly Island. Now this is very important. There are two rivers, remember. In the north, there is Red River, right? So they form a delta, not delta, so in very fertile region. And down south, you have what delta? Which delta? Mekong Delta, right? Again, one of the fertile region, one of the places where this copious amount of rice is produced, right? Another important thing is that we have discussed Laos or Myanmar, the border, which particular range? Annamite range. Okay? Okay. Shall we move on to the next one? This is the elephant in the room. This is the Indonesia. UPSC is asked question. बहुत सारे questions यहाँ से बन सकेंगे. First is that why it was in the news? Because of Indonesia, and this, just check the date, March 9th, 2026, right? Just 14 days back, 13-14 days back. So says it has entered agreement with India to procure BrahMos missile. It was not confirmed. Now it is confirmed, right? Indonesia is going to get BrahMos missile, and hence this is in the news. Not only you have to do Indonesia, BrahMos missile bhi karna hai, right? So BrahMos missile is what kind of missile? What is the range? Is it a ballistic missile or a cruise missile? It is a cruise missile. Yes, initially it was 290 kilometers, but because India signed which agreement? MTCA. Right? So because they signed MTCA, they can exceed what? They can exceed that 290 barrier. So now 400, 450, they can go up, right? And it is a cruise missile. What is the difference between cruise missile and ballistic missile? Yes, ballistic missile will have parabolic path. ऐसे. BrahMos missile was used in which particular operation? It was Operation Sindoor. It was used, right? So it was cruise missile, and it could. Ballistic missile can also be changed, right? But they have a different characteristic. The fuel is important. Again, fuel is important. Rocket fuel. Do you remember UPSC? The entire fuel technology is different, right? In case of ballistic missile, primarily the fuel is, and this is important, and if they ask ballistic missile, they primarily your rocket fuel, right? Your liquid oxygen, your hydrogen, right? Kerosene is also used. Kerosene is actually a very good fuel, right? But in case of for cruise missile, I'm forgetting the name of the fuel. A different kind of fuel is used, right? But UPSC has asked this question. UPSC, in one of the option, there was that, I think, H20 or HX, something like that, and they mentioned rocket fuel. Okay? But keep that in mind. Okay. Now, Indonesia. When I'm saying it is the largest archipelago in the world, I'm saying it with a caveat. What is the caveat? Largest archipelago in the world, which is a country. इससे भी ज़्यादा बड़ा archipelago है in your Norway, that region. It is a country. Largest archipelago as a country. Another one of the largest archipelago would be, which will be studying Philippines, right? ठीक है? These are the major islands, and UPSC has asked this question that the India's lowest point, or the Indira point, right, is closest to which islands? Not Java. It is Sumatra. Okay. So which are the, and this is how we will remember: Sumatra, Java, and this is very important because we will confuse ourselves. Agar you don't remember, na, this is a region why it is very hodgepodge region. It's will clear things up right now. So we have your Sumatra over here, your Banda Aceh. Why Banda Aceh is important? It is a port city. It's a very famous port city. Yes, your son. Banda Aceh, I'm not very sure. I have to check then. Banda Aceh, I have to check whether India has a military base. Right? Do some search. Why Banda Aceh? The international relations wise, Banda Aceh is a very important region. Right? Okay. So this is your Sumatra. You will not forget. First Sumatra. Right? And remember it in this way also, it's like a very Indian name. Sumatra is like a Indian name, right? So it's closer to India. Second, you have your Java. Bali is in this particular region, right? So we have here Java. There is a particular city over here, Yogyakarta. Have you heard about this city, Yogyakarta? Deepak, Yogyakarta? Huh? Not. Okay. Search why this particular city is very important. They might ask question, right? Yogyakarta principle, right? Okay. So here Sumatra, here Java. Then this particular island, Borneo. Here we have how many countries? Sorry. 3 countries, exactly. This region, entire, we have 3 countries, right? Which are the 3 countries? We have our Malaysia here, we have this part is your Indonesia, and here there is a small country. What is the name of the country? Brunei, and its capital is Darussalam, right? Darussalam means what? Dwar of Islam, right? Okay. We'll remember this. This is a Borneo island. It's a very rich in your biodiversity. Very rich in biodiversity. And we'll come to that also. We'll not forget. So, yes? Second largest? Borneo? Acha, ho sakta hai. No, but could be. I have to check this one. But could be. Because it is the largest island in Indonesia. That is for sure. Okay. So Sumatra over here. Here you have your what? Java. Here you have your Borneo. Right? Borneo has how many countries? 3 countries. Obviously, you have your Indonesia, here Malaysia, and यहाँ पर Brunei. Right? Borneo, Brunei. You will not forget. Then we have this Sulawesi island. Sulawesi island. The entire island is इंडोनेशिया का. ठीक है. यहाँ पर कोई बंटवारा नहीं हो रहा है. ठीक है. पूरा ही like everything, the entire island is your this of Indonesia. Then there is another island here. This is Timor Island, but there are 2 countries over here. One is here, it is called Timor-Leste or East Timor. East Timor. And here again, what we have? Here we have again Indonesia. Okay. And there's a reason why. Timor-Leste is one of the youngest countries. It got its independence in 2000. I have to check, verify the date. And it's one of the youngest country, and it got its independence from which country? Australia. It was Indonesia. It got its independence from Indonesia. From 1999 to I think 2012, Indonesia was occupying. I have to check. वो है इसमें PDF में है. ठीक है? And another important thing. Here, so this is your entire. This is your Timor-Leste. There is a exclave of Timor-Leste over here. Right? There is an exclave. So here also we have exclave. I will tell you another feature of a very important feature of Indonesia. We have heard about transcontinental countries. Which are the transcontinental countries? Turkey, Russia. Turkey है, Russia है, transcontinental. Indonesia is one. Yes, but there is another. Come on, transcontinental. We studied. ऐसे नहीं छोड़ेंगे, याद कीजिए. There is a peninsula which joins this. Sinai Peninsula, Egypt. Okay? Why it is transcontinental? So there we have Africa and Asia being conjoined. Here we have Asia and which another continent? Oceania. And Sulawesi, right? Till Sulawesi it is your Asia. Again, मतलब Indonesia ना सभी जगह पर ना जाकर मतलब they have taken it. So this is also your Indonesia. This is Guinea Island. We'll see, right? This section comes under your Oceania, right? ठीक है? You will not forget. एक बार revise कर ले, shall we? जल्दी से. Sumatra, Java, Borneo. So Kalimantan, I'll tell you another thing important, very important. Kalimantan, the very important development that had happened. There has been change in the capital of Indonesia. They have removed to Kalimantan, right? East, Borneo में, ठीक है? Then Sulawesi and Papua, right? Let's see. This is your what? This is your what? Sumatra. This is your what? Java. Here we have what? Here which state? Lombok. बाली के बाद लोम्बोक आता है. ठीक है? बाली के बाद लोम्बोक आता है. I have had a very funny way to remember it, but I'll not tell you. It's not very like class worthy. ठीक है? Right? ठीक है? ठीक है? Then here you have your entire Sulawesi, which is your Indonesia. This is your entire Borneo. Which how many countries Borneo have? three countries. We have your, obviously here you have your Indonesia, here you have your Malaysia, and this is what? Brunei. Okay, will not forget. So here Sulawesi, and this your Guinea Island. So till here it is Indonesia, right? Part of Oceania, and hence it is transatlantic. Sorry, it's transcontinental, right? Will clear? Will not forget? Okay. Now let's see the seas. Important seas yesterday we discussed, right? So we are here. We have South China Sea. उसके ऊपर कौन सा sea है? East China Sea. उसके ऊपर Japan. Then Bering. Excellent. अरे वाह. Right. Now South China Sea. Now remember this celebs. I remember it in this way. Celebrity. ठीक है, वो ऊपर रहेगा. तो celebrity is up. ऊपर ही रहता है. ठीक है. Then you have your Java and Banda. ठीक है. Java and Banda Sea. Here you have your Timor Sea, because actually we forgot one part. We forgot here. There is Timor also. Here this is Indonesia. Right. Here we have Indonesia. Right. And then so there is Timor Sea. We'll remember Java Sea, Banda Sea, Timor Sea. Not forget. ठीक है. There are other seas also. बहुत सारे seas हैं. I don't want to go. UPSC will not ask. Right. Such in minute details they will not ask. ठीक है. Okay. So famous volcano Krakatoa is where? In this Lombok Strait. Okay. And we have studied this. We have already studied Natuna Island. I don't want to go there. What was the reason why Natuna Island had conflict with China? Huh? Exclusive economic zone. Not territorial issue. Territorially, they're cool. But because exclusive economic zone between your Indonesia and your China are colliding, that is an issue, right? Okay. Okay. Now they have removed their capital from Jakarta to Nusantara. Okay. Nusantara is in East Kalimantan. Kalimantan, I'll show you the just a second. This. So West Kalimantan, I think it's not very visible. West Kalimantan, Central Kalimantan, and your East Kalimantan, right? Nusantara is in East Kalimantan, right? So they have removed from Jakarta. We know Jakarta as a capital, but now it's East Kalimantan. Which country? Here Malaysia, here Brunei. Okay? Okay. Now, this is important. Flora. I don't know, like in my school, like in class 10, I have studied this. World's largest flower, Rafflesia arnoldi. Like very, like it's like flesh eating, very bad smell, right? And it is parasitic in nature, like parasitic, right? Can anybody tell me another one or two plants which is parasitic? Pitcher and Venus flytrap. Venus flytrap and pitcher. You have to do NCRTs, like UPSC might ask questions, right? World's largest lizard is your Komodo dragon. ये dragon सचमुच है नहीं वैसे, मतलब it's Komodo dragon, right? Orangutan is endemic to Sumatra and Borneo that we have studied. Sumatra is part of which country? Indonesia. Borneo is part of which country? ठीक है, चलो. Largest देख लेते हैं, ठीक है? Largest producer of palm oil, right? Which are the two countries from which India imports palm oil in copious amount? Malaysia and Indonesia, right? And it's one of the palm oil plantation, right? It's one of the worst affecting, climatically, this kind of, okay. Nickel, world's largest producer, right? 2/3 of the world's nickel is produced by your this. Another is the world's largest producer, cloves, right? Achha, we have already done this. Now Malaysia, right? We'll understand Malaysia. There are two sections. One is Peninsular Malaysia, right? And what was the second Malaysia? Borneo Malaysia. Okay? Peninsular Malaysia, Borneo Malaysia. So Peninsular Malaysia is here. Which is the country above Malaysia? Which is the that is That is in your Borneo Island, it is Brunei, but in your, yes, Malay Peninsula, so this is your Malay Peninsula, it is Thailand. Yeah, you're right. And which is the particular, what is this section called? This area? Isthmus of Kra. Isthmus of Kra, right? Okay. So again, like in Malaysia, not much has to be known. Just know that it is one part is in Borneo, the other part is in your Malay Peninsula. Okay, Peninsula of Malaysia. Okay. Okay. Now let's come to Singapore. Now Singapore is again very important. Malacca Strait, Singapore Strait, right? And it's again the temperature is very important. Like people, like they might give Singapore and they say that like they belong to temperate region. No, they don't belong to temperate region. They are tropical countries. Okay? Okay. Now let's come to Philippines. Few things we'll remember. UPSC has already asked about Mindanao. We have already talked about or discussed Mindanao. What is the reason why Islamic and Christianity? Primarily here, if you see Philippines, it follows Catholic Christianity, right? Catholic Christianity, and this section you have your Islamic. They follow primarily the Islamic religion, right? Which is that this particular strait which joins your South China Sea with your Pacific is your Luzon Strait. We'll not forget this, right? Okay. Now another thing, typhoon. Remember, UPSC has asked in their mains. They have asked question, right? So remember typhoon. Obviously, your cyclone, which is another term that is very famous. That is, but it's relevant in your Gulf of Mexico. Hurricanes. ठीक है? हाँ. Willy Willy is Australia. ठीक है? Willy Willy is Australia. Now it is part of your Coral Triangle. Is Australia part of Coral Triangle? Coral reefs, right? So this is your Coral Triangle, right? So here we have Malaysia, Brunei, Philippines over there, Indonesia, Timor-Leste, Papua New Guinea. Then Solomon Islands is also a part of this. Okay? Okay. Shall we move on to the next? Okay, Brunei. Where did we study Brunei? In which island? Borneo, right? It is. Brunei is a OPEC country. I just एक बार देखिए तो जल्दी से. I don't think so because so let's revise OPEC countries, shall we? Which are the OPEC countries? South America में क्या है? कौन है? Venezuela, ठीक है? In your Africa, Algeria, excellent. Angola, Gabon. नहीं, अंगोला नहीं है, वो था, वो निकल गया. Algeria, then अल्जीरिया के बगल में क्या है? लिबिया सेकंड. देन नीचे आ जाता है नाइजीरिया. देन उसके नीचे नहीं क्या, गेबन. देन अपार्ट फ्रॉम गेबन, OPEC plus. It is not part of OPEC. So this is not part of Brunei is not part of OPEC. Given we forget what is another OPEC country. It starts with Equatorial Guinea. Equatorial Guinea is also part of OPEC country, right? So Angola was a part of OPEC, but it exited, right? It exited. एक बार रिवाइज कर लेते हैं. वेस्ट एशिया में which are the part of OPEC countries? Saudi, UAE, Qatar exited, right? They wanted to focus on gas. UAE, Iraq and Iran. ठीक है, excellent, बढ़िया. Now, so Brunei, it is part of one of the oldest tropical rainforests, right? 130 million years old. Part of Sundaland biodiversity hotspot. Sundaland, have you heard about Sundaland? The entire part from like our northeast India, right? It is part of India's 4 biodiversity hotspots. Okay? So this is Sundaland, right? Bornean orangutan, and what is his IUCN status? Critically endangered, right? So orangutan. Now this is something that I want you to do, and trust me, you will get a question. Okay? I have made species ka document. Thoda baki, I'll share it with you. I'll not take class because I'm not very comfortable there. I'll share the document. You know that species एक question so आएंगे वहाँ से, species से आएंगे. Like it is very important that we identify the kind of species that they're asking. When UPSC asks a question on species, it's not arbitrary. and once UPSC asked a question on species, and if you read the question, like yesterday we solved a question on what? We solved a question peacock tarantula. It was very easy. So with your exam intelligence, you can solve your question on species. Now, I will give you the document, and just go through the document. You will be able to come to the right answer, and we'll discuss about it briefly. But what I want you to do, this is the homework. Please do research on apes. Please do research on apes, right? Apes, very important. मतलब ये बहुत important है. Types of apes. There is a great ape, there is a lesser apes. Lesser apes में how many parts are there? Great apes में how many? Yes, bonobo. Bonobo is an ape. It is an ape, ठीक है? And is thus, I think, smallest of the apes, right? So that again, smallest. So UPSC, when he's asking questions, they are not asking arbitrarily. There is a method in the madness. Now, what you have to do, you have to be mad like them in order to understand. The pagal ko samajhta hai, so you have to be mad like that, right? You don't have to be. It takes time, because when you analyze the entire species, then you find the pattern, right? That where UPSC, for example, nocturnal animals. UPSC asks questions on nocturnal animals. Now, what will you do? You will make a pura list banaoge nocturnal animals ki, and you will start to remember. Is it possible? What are some of the traits? Like in organizations, we state institutions, I said, ki these are the traits will help you to come to the right answer. In case of, let's say, nocturnal animals, what are the traits of nocturnal animals? Yes, night vision. Basically, they are carnivorous in nature. They are large eyes, civet, Malabar civet, large eyes, right? So these are the things that you have to remember. Right. Now, obvious question will be, sir, like, I don't know how to, like, what Malabar civet is. Is it not better to see an animal than to remember their characteristics? Right. They have a very keen sense of smell. Very keen sense of smell. Those nocturnal animals, because in dark, your night vision, so for example, like big cats, right? They're very keen sense of. Achha, another thing, if carnivores are nocturnal, right? What is their prey? Their preys are cervids, like your deer and all. So, what is the time? Evolution will say, which will be the time when they will be active? It is during the dusk. Crepuscle, they are called. What is the term that is used? So, this is actually a literature term, crepuscular, right? Crepuscular means that just between your night and day, like when the dark. So your cervix, like your deer, right? Your barking deer, those, like, they are your crepuscular animals. Crepuscular animals, right? Okay. So, like, for example, birds, apart from few birds, बहुत ही कम birds होते, ज़्यादातर they are diurnal. Like, what is the reason why birds are diurnal? Visibility, right? Then, like, because they're flying. You have to remember, you have to understand in this way how to identify the name of the birds. Like, आप देखोगे कि जब UPSC question frame करता है कि red throated this, right? Blue crowned this, red throated, blue crowned. These are all name of birds, right? So the moment you identify these terminologies, then you don't have to prepare dash institute ka 30 pages, 40 pages. People will know which I am talking about, right? Abhi to it is behind the paywall. I have not named them, but I can trust them, right? Because they waste people's time. Okay, right? So your homework is know about apes, right? Okay, okay. We have discussed this. East Kalimantan, this one from Jakarta, it has moved to this, what is the name of the capital? I forgot, just a second. Nusantara or something. एक बार I'll Nusantara. नीचे होगा ना? छोड़ो, important नहीं है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Now Timor-Leste becomes the 11th member of ASEAN, right? Where is Timor-Leste? Right. So Timor Island, or yeah. So and it shares its border with whom? It shares its border with your Indonesia. Absolutely. Right. Now again, it is significant for oil and natural gases, and like it's one of the richest country. Okay. And one of the youngest nation. 2002 में उनका independence हुआ था. Not I think 2012 I told. Yeah, it is 2002 they have gotten independence. Again, coral reefs, they're part of that area. Right? ठीक है. ठीक है. Okay. So remember we discussed about the exclave. What is the name of the exclave? What is the name of the exclave, guys? This. अभी थोड़ा रिवाइज करते हैं exclave का. ठीक है. यूरोप में what is the exclave? Kaliningrad, right? Russia. ठीक है. Excellent. In North America, exclave, Alaska, America. Africa, Cabinda, Angola. It is divided by which country? DRC. Kaliningrad, which country? Is it Estonia, Poland, or Lithuania or Poland? Lithuania हो सकता है. Lithuania or Poland. ठीक है. Will not forget. Exclave, you have understood? ठीक है.